Aloha, shalom, salam. What's up, everybody? It's been a whole month since we've done our last activation, and in case you didn't know, I'm only doing new moon activations now, and we did used to do them every week, but since we're only meeting once a month now, it just feels all the more special. So while everybody's tuning in, I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling my cards here. And this is the new moon activation, so we're at a point of newness in this cycle, in this lunar cycle, within the great cycle of life, right? It's a new beginning, and that's what we're focusing on with the new moon activation. And as usual, I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona. Let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. Feel free to share this video now while we're live. Maybe you have a friend or a family member who could really use a positive message right now, a message of guidance. Maybe you want to share this with a favorite group you have on Facebook. And if you want to share it with someone who's not on Facebook, remember at the end, these videos get loaded to Instagram and YouTube, Rebecca Magic, so you can share it with someone that way too. If you're just tuning in, thanks for coming back to the activation portal. Let us know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. Giving thanks in advance for this message that's about to come through. Thank you, thank me, thank we, thank one. The archetypes are in all things, back of all things, so thank one. Beginning with the challenge and focus for this week. As we move into a new challenge and focus, you can feel it right now. The energy feels so potent. I knew that the time was now. Now. Stop, drop, and now for the activation. And why? Why are we going through this? What's the foundation of this? And then with the Hebrew alphabet, we'll pull the ally of the week. Yay, I'm so glad we're all together. Beginning with the challenge and gift, the focus of the week. Yeah, feels about right. 7 of Wands. Wands is the suit of spirit, fire. And 7 is when you're you're really in the thick of it. Like you're in a passionate situation. You're already deep into it. You're at a point where you have to really stand for your truth, where it doesn't matter who's standing for you or against you. The real heart of the matter is the truth, and how is what you are being passionate about connected to that truth, not just your individual truth, but universal truth, collective one truth. So if this is our challenge and gift of the week, if this is our focus of the week, we're being asked to look at what are we super passionate about? And how can we connect to the fire within us, right? Because we are made of the elements. We're one with the elemental field. How can we redefine the elements in their reflection of who we are? How can we look at primarily our fire element and see how that fire either burns or blazes? What does it do? What is that fire doing when it comes through you, when you're being passionate about something that you've been currently very passionate about? How can we observe ourselves in these moments of passion and see how we are either doing more damage or more good for the whole, for the one, not just for the individual self, always for the collective self? not only is it okay to be passionate, please let me know in the comments if it's breaking up too. I don't have the best internet service. So not only is it okay to be passionate about what we're passionate about, it's necessary, it's important to keep that flame of our spirit alive. But we always have to remember and stay present, stay consciously aware of how we are embodying these elements, here primarily fire. How are we backing up what is already true, universal truth, through our thoughts, words, and actions? How are we supporting the truth and standing for it fiercely in a way that ignites the heart, the flame of the heart of the one, rather than burning it? Making sure that we're staying in a place of inspiration for the goodness and the well-being of the one. Because when we begin to embody any of the elements out of balance, what that's reflecting is a fragmenting from ourself, a forgetfulness of who we really are, is what that's reflecting. So a proper embodiment of any of the elements would show you, if you look closely, would show you that you are supporting the collective, you are supporting the whole. Meaning, if you're embodying fire in a way that supports the whole, then good. That's a great sign that you are in balance with yourself and with the universe, with the elementals. And when you're, say, hurting someone or hurting yourself because of that fire that you're embodying, then it's obviously not good for the one. So obviously so, right? Because it's not good for even yourself. It's really hitting home, right? So right now we're being asked to look at primarily fire. And remember, as in one dimension, so in all. And I talk about this in my books. The element that's pulled is the primary consideration. Yet we must take into consideration all of the elements. Because as in one dimension, so in all. If we have a fire imbalance, for example, that's going to reflect with all of our other elements. Right? If we have a spiritual imbalance, which fire represents, that's going to reflect emotionally, mentally, and physically even. So we want to primarily consider fire, because that gives us the guidance as, okay, start here, start with the fire dimension, start with the spiritual dimension, and from there, go deeper and look at how it's reflecting in the other dimensions. So we're really being called this week to, yes, embody our fire and all the other elements in a way that is going to support and stand up for the truth. The truth of who not only you are, but we are as one. Stand for that. And sometimes it means being quiet, and sometimes it means vocalizing. Sometimes it means being more receptive and listening, and sometimes it means speaking more and being more active. Okay, we're always going back and forth between our masculine, feminine, active, receptive, positive, negative energies. I mean, we can't help that. That's what is making all this life, is manifesting this life, is those opposite forces vibrating with each other, right? The polarity. So when we're standing for the truth, it can look like all kinds of things. It can be a single steady flame of a candle, or it can be a raging fire. Either one can be good. You can find examples of this in nature, in your own life. So don't judge by what's on the outside. Don't judge what you're feeling by how many are for you or against you, are for it or against it, whatever it is you are passionate about. The focus should be on what it is you are passionate about, which should involve the well-being of the whole, should have a goal for the well-being of the whole. And if you're standing for that, then you will no doubt be guided to use the elements, to embody the elements through you, to allow is the better word, to allow the elements to move through you as your allies. We are their allies. The elements are our allies, and we are the allies to the elements, because without this vessel, they couldn't do what they, who is us, is here to do. We're one alliance, you see. And why are we going through this? Major Arcanum, the world. So we're going, and this is wow. I mean, come on, guys. Everything that the world is going through right now is such a huge, sudden shift, right? There's so much energy coming up, ancient stuff, ancestral stuff from every lineage, which ultimately all leads to the one ancestor we share, right? But it's all coming up so that we can get there. We're getting there. We're getting there step by step, right? And those steps are our individual ancestries that are coming to then this single point. But right now we're in that stage, right? It's like kind of like we're traveling the wheel and we're getting to that center point. But we have to, salve et coagula, separate to reunite, stronger than before. Right? So we're in this trying time. We're going through this learning what's okay to say and what I shouldn't say, and when to act and when to hold back, when to wait, when to be patient. We're learning this balance, which all of those actions, whether we're sitting back or we're standing up, whether we're being quiet or we're speaking up, all of those actions, so long as they're in the name of supporting the truth and standing up for what is right, supporting what is right to unfold, meaning in the name of the highest good of the one. So long as it's for that, we're doing the right thing. We're working toward that world that we want to see, that world of oneness, that unity that we all want to see, that we all want to be. So again, why are we going through these trying times? So we can get to this world that we want to see. And remember, if we bring it back to the individual self, which we have to do in order to most efficiently perform our mission, which does involve the whole larger self, we have to start with us, right? And so when we bring the story back to us, we see how whatever challenges you're going through, it looks different for all of us, but underneath it is all the same energy. Whatever challenge we're going through it so that we can be our best self, so that we can get to the end result, right? Look, this is 21. In most modern decks, that's the final number. There is a card 22 in some decks, but in this one, it's 21. It's representing the end result of a mission, a creative and hopefully a spiritual mission, so that it can be fully complete, right? It's both creative and spiritually creative. So we're coming to the end result. Why are we going through this? We are learning. It's not just about the thing we're trying to achieve, right? Because the thing we're always trying to achieve in every moment is learning, is soul growth. So don't forget that as you're moving through these challenges. We are every moment, if we're staying true to ourselves, every moment is a success. Every moment is a victory. I also want to point out that it's number 7, and in the major arcanum, number 7 is the Chariot. Okay, so this is all about ascension and victory and rising above the lower self. So the 7s in the elements are associated with that larger 7, the Chariot. Victory, ascension, success, right? So why are we going through these challenging, trying times? So that we can ultimately be successful and achieve that goal of wholeness within ourselves and within our society, within our global society. It's literally the world card. So this is really, really so obviously about the collective, whereas sometimes it's hard for us to see outside of our own personal reality with these activations. Many of you say, wow, that feels so personal to my life. You eventually get to a point where you see all of these are so obviously collective themes, because we're all uniting in these themes, no matter what the details look like as to how it's unfolding for us. But this is just such an obvious collective message right now, right? Like, you can see how not only on an individual level, but on a collective level, we are going through this. So many are divided, and yet it doesn't matter. We don't know if these people below are cheering on or trying to condemn whatever it is he's saying. But the point is, right, what does the wand represent? Fire, spirit, your kundalini energy, your life force energy, your spine. It's saying that it doesn't matter if it's one against many or many for the one. It doesn't matter. It's all one anyway. Don't be fooled. And you have everything you need within you to stand for the truth. You have all of the power. That's what the wands and fire represent. You have all of the power to support you if you are supporting the truth. Truth supports truth. Life supports life. And the Hebrew ally is the letter Resh. You can Google it, R-E-S-H or R-E-I-S-H. This is the 20th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it's connected to Arcanum 20, Judgment. Resh is also symbolized by a head. The Hebrew word for head is Rosh. right? Every Hebrew letter has a hieroglyphic symbol. So for the Resh, it's the Rosh, it's a head. It's talking about the Godhead, the mother, father, God, the mother, father perspective. So why is this here right now? It's saying, understand from a holy, most high perspective what you're going through right now, all of the challenges, whether you feel defeated and you feel exhausted, because no doubt we all do, because so I might go in and out of service here. Thanks for hanging in there, you guys. So the whole world is feeling so divided. On some level, we are all feeling that because we are one consciousness, right? We are one collective consciousness. So it's very important to remember, Resh, Rosh, remember the most holy perspective. Why you're going through the challenges are for the most holy reason, so that we can achieve this world. We have to really hone in on this process of standing for the truth and what it looks like in the most compassionate way. Because that is the holy perspective, right? That mother, father, God perspective is the all virtuous light of creation, which is the light of compassion, contains all other virtues. So if that is, and that is the perspective of the Godhead, is compassion, ultimately, right? If we just want to sum it up, that it's compassion, it's seen through the eyes of compassion, then we must understand that while we can never compromise, we must always stand for the truth and embody and express the truth. Always. We must also always do it with compassion. Because if for a moment we slip from that embodiment, to the degree that we slip will be equal to the degree that we contribute to more death, more fear, more hate, more suffering for the collective. And on the contrary, to the degree that we can embody that compassion and stay centered in that and move through this process of standing for the truth with unwavering compassion, the more we are contributing to this world that we want to see, this world that we so desperately want to be a part of. We're co-creating that every moment when we act from this center of compassion. And don't worry, we are meant to go like this, right? So those moments where we come out of our center and we don't act fully out of that place, you still have endless opportunities for repentance and correction, to make amends. And guess what? The mistakes that we make become blessings when we take advantage of them in this way. But only if we take advantage of them in this way. Again, returning to compassion and correcting it from there. So how many good deeds, we call them mitzvahs, how many good deeds can we do right now from that place? How can we stay so centered in that place and act as much as possible from that place? Because that is standing for the truth in the best way possible. When you do a good deed, not only are you standing for it, you're acting on it, which is an act of preservation of goodness, which is light, which is life, truth. They're all one. When we do good deeds, it's the most sacred, holy act. That's the best thing we could do. And when we do good deeds, we're not looking at who's watching us. Who's happy that I'm doing this, or who's angry that I'm doing this. We're not even thinking of that. That's why doing a good deed puts you in the highest place of this archetype, because it's you standing for the truth by acting on truth, which is goodness, right? Doing a good deed. And in that moment, you do not care at all. Naturally, you don't care who is against you doing that good deed or who's for it. You know in your heart that it's so good. It's good to be doing this. It feels good. You know it's good for the one, and you surrender and you dive into that service. And that is what this card represents. So ultimately, when we're looking through the eyes of the Rosh, Resh, that holy perspective, which is compassion, and we're standing for the truth, which this card represents, with every fiber of our being and our fullest, most soulful expression, when we're doing that from that perspective, it looks like good deeds. That's the best and highest thing we can do. Again, that's going to bypass us having to look over our shoulder and worry about who's concerned with what we're doing. We don't care. We are so surrendered to the act of service. And that is standing up for the truth by acting on it, which preserves it, which preserves a little bit of light for eternity every time you do a good deed. And that's how we are going to get to this world. That's why we are going through this. This was the foundation card we pulled. We are going through this so we can get here. Keep going. Keep going. We're already there. We're already here now. And those of you who just went, yes, I know that. I feel that. You're way showers. We're way showers. And that feeling has to stay. It has to lock in. And we have to keep moving from that place of knowing that we're here now. For those who just don't quite get it yet, for those who just don't quite see it or feel it yet, we have to feel it so that it reverberates out, so that it encompasses our entire being and radiates out to this huge auric field that just can reach beyond this earth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this activation. I appreciate you so very much for helping to bring in these messages. I really looked forward to this moment all month. And I'll look forward to the next one. Please feel free to send this video to your friends, your family. It will go to YouTube and Instagram if they're not on here. And thank you to everybody for leaving reviews. Thank you for purchasing my books. A bunch of books went out yesterday. And thank you for your donations. So appreciated. So appreciated. Rebecca-Magic on Venmo if you feel called to make a donation and give back. Again, just a review is so much. I love hearing from you guys. It means the most to me. And I am doing readings right now, so please reach out if you've been wanting one. And pay attention, you guys. I may just pull cards next week or the following week in between activations. I'm still pulling cards all the time. And I will share them with you when I do a collective reading. So keep an eye out on my page. I will share some cards for sure in between now and the next new moon. It won't be a live, but it'll be a cool transcription. Feel free to put these out on your altar. Remember, it's the Hebrew letter Resh that is the ally of the week. So maybe you want to make it your background, print it out. Have fun. I'll see you guys really soon. Shalom.